All right, we're going to do another quick live today because it's just another day where I am being proven right. I keep telling everybody, just pay attention like I do, and you'll see the patterns. You'll see the patterns, everyone. I promise. I'm just getting a couple things set up really quick. I'm not even going to edit this one into a regular video if I'm being totally honest with you. I'm going to leave it just like this. So everyone who watches this can see that I do lives. Okay, so most of my lives are from my core audience. I usually do them privately and then release it as a video, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to go live right now, public, because I don't have time to do the editing of the beginning, this part, to cut it out tonight. So here we go. And welcome to. So I'm just going to check audio really quick, make sure that y'all can hear me. Just because my stupid thing says you can hear me, that doesn't mean that you can hear me. I've just a little something that I've noticed before, and I don't have a lot of fancy equipment or anything, so we got to do it a different way. And I'm not even showing that I'm live. That's crazy. On my phone. Videos. Oh, what the hell? Why can't YouTube just be normal? Why can't it just be normal, everyone? Why is YouTube like this? Give me a sec. Let's see if it works again. Am I there? It would appear I am live, but not live, I guess. Okay. 1 second, guys. I got to check and see what's going on here. I got to verify that I'm live because I don't see viewers, but it says I'm live, and I don't know if I'm live. And oh, there's the problem. Done. Save. All right, everyone. So I didn't change the setting for this on didn't change the setting for this on YouTube. So let's see if that's good. Now let's see if you can hear me. Check on my phone. All right, everyone. Yeah, we're good. I don't there's gonna be a whole bunch of me talking at the beginning of this thinking that I'm live when I'm not live. So let's try this one more time. I apparently when I changed it in my streaming software here, it didn't do it on YouTube. So I'll have to remember that next time. Anyway, guys, let's start over. Welcome to today's episode of. My God. All right. So again, I'm proven right. Right? I mean, I hate to be that guy. I do. I hate to be that guy. But literally, since last year, I've said on my shows, that's not always been this show. I've had different names trying to find my way uh, with a small core audience and everything. But I've said since last year when Trump won that you can bet that the closer we get to midterms for this presidency and probably the election for the next, you're going to see increased psyops. I mean, after he won, it was the UFO nonsense. Got dog fur on my face. UFO nonsense, the drones, this, that, and the other. It's just gonna get worse. Trump took office, and the MAGA influencers sounded just like the left wing influencers. It's not a shock because they're not truly MAGA. They just follow the narrative pushed to them behind the scenes by places like Conservative Inc., who pay them to push these narratives. So yesterday we get on, and what was the daily outrage yesterday? Oh, Trump was mean to Rob Reiner. He didn't kiss his ass because he's dead. Now, I'm sorry, but I've always been that guy where you don't hear about a celebrity, be it a musician or an actor or whatever, director. You don't hear about them forever, aside from maybe clips that they have or something. Nothing like people are not obsessing over these people until they die. And then all of a sudden, we're supposed to treat them as though they are better than they actually were as a human being. This Rob Reiner was a piece of shit. And it's kind of obvious when your own son ends up stabbing you to death in your home. You're not probably doing the best parenting. I'm just going to say it. And I don't feel bad about saying it. And honestly, he shit all over Rush Limbaugh the day after he died, as I showed you on yesterday's show, right? Nobody had a thing to say on the left about that. People on the right, I don't even remember back then. They probably bitched about it for about, 35 minutes, one post, whatever. They didn't do the shit they're doing today with the Rob Reiner nonsense because they weren't paid to do it. You guys have to understand, just because somebody is a self-proclaimed MAGA person does not mean that they're truly MAGA. Okay? They do that because they want you to believe they're MAGA. So when they shift their narratives, it makes you feel a certain way, right? They try to blackpill you. Mark Mitchell of Rasmussen Reports is one of the worst offenders for this nonsense. This guy comes out and he's all like, oh yeah, Trump's going to win. He's great. He's great. His policies are great. And the minute that Trump starts enacting his policies, which he's doing, by the way, he flips the script and says, oh, look at how my polls reflect what I say on X. Everybody hates Trump. They're going to vote for Kamala next year. He literally just or next election. He literally just put that out on X, and I had to call him out. I'm like, do you think maybe you should start educating people on what Trump's actually doing rather than trying to blackpill them and spread the same narratives that all these other influencers are doing? I suspect old Markey is taking some money in the background, either that or he's a controlled op, which is the same thing as being a grifting fucking piece of shit grifting influencer. I mean, they take the money and they run with it. That's why today, when you woke up, or when you, maybe not when you woke up, but when you logged on to X, this is what you saw. The same thing over and over. Susie Wiles isn't smart enough to support increasing freedom, which is the best approach politically. She wasn't smart enough to not be seen through quickly by DeSantis. She badmouthed Trump, Vance, Musk, Russ Vought. She seems to be looking for her next progressive gig. A good party will win majorities. See, and then it goes, we've got to start loading up on Susie Wiles. RCP podcast. What was Susie Wiles thinking? Trump losing touch with MAGA? Chicago's fiscal oblivion. PRC convicts Jimmy Lai. The photography alone evidences that hatred that the Vanity Fair has for all the Trump administration. Now, this is actually pretty accurate. They took some pretty shitty photos there. What I'm telling you is that Vanity Fair can throw their absolute worst at Carolyn Levitt, Susan Wiles, and J.D. Vance, and they are going to work today to impress everybody in the country. The 77 million people who voted for Trump are well served by people like them. Credit Megyn Kelly podcast, right? Here it is. Remember, Susie Wiles is very busy. Now she's even writing Democrats ads. Why Vanity Fair aides and allies wonder what Wiles West Wing were thinking. Susie Wiles told Vanity Fair the truth about the wicked man. Now she takes it all back. Do you see how they work, y'all? This is exactly how they work. Now it's Susie Wiles today. Yesterday it was Trump Post. I typed in Susie Wiles. Here it is. Right? We're attacking Susie Wiles today. Tomorrow it'll be Pam Bondi or Kash Patel. You've got to start recognizing the patterns. Because, I get so sick of having to point this out, but I feel like it's necessary because not enough people recognize patterns. Now, I will say this. Actual normal MAGA people in comments yesterday were handing these people their asses. If you need proof, I can show you. See this bitch? She's just one that learned. I love how people are calling me a Democrat now just because I said I didn't agree with Trump taking needless shots at a dead man. Y'all are so tribal, it's exhausting. Just be a decent human being, for fuck's sake. It's not that hard. Then she lets out this video complaining that, you can't expect to call out the left for, making memes about Charlie Kirk like this one here. You can't say that's wrong and then support what Trump said about about Rob Reiner. All Trump said was that it was very sad that he had TDS, that it was killing him or killed him, that it was incurable. When I showed you yesterday, literally showed you yesterday, that even Kamala Harris said that Rob Reiner screamed at her husband because of Joe Biden's disastrous debate performance with Trump, because his TDS told him what exactly that disastrous debate performance was going to cost him, and which was the election. The man was an angry, vicious, vile human being. Need I remind you that this is Rob Reiner right here, okay? This is Rob Reiner right here after Rush Limbaugh died. Okay? I'll just leave this right here. Oh, but you got to be better than them. You got to rise above them and be better than them. Why do we have to be better than them? These people are literally all over TikTok and other places, Blue Sky, literally saying that they want to kill us, that we need to die. Did you forget COVID when you said, "Hey, you guys claim my body, my choice. I don't want this shot in my body." Oh, well, then you need to lose your livelihood. You need to lose your job. You need to be killed. There was one staffer for some government group that was caught on camera saying, "You need to be hunted down by drone and injected." Do you remember this? Did everybody forget this? These are the people we're dealing with, which is why I titled this video, "No Quarter." You cannot give these people an inch. Rob Reiner is a saint now? His fucking own kid just stabbed him to death in his house. Give me a fucking break, y'all. Look at this. Look at the comments. This is proof that people are not down with these influencers. They're finally, there's a group of people waking up to the influence. Why should I be decent to people that would cheer on my death and wish harm on my family or to my family? Please explain to me why I should turn the other cheek when the people attacking me and people like me wouldn't grant me the same respect. And that gets a like. Exactly. Boom. And a repost from my unfollowed account. All I have is spam. See? Because you should strive to be better than them. Yep. And striving to be better than them is what gets people killed, like Charlie Kirk. He strived to be better than them. And oh, we're going to talk to that. Look, mad respect for him doing that. But that's how that winds up with these people, because they're terrorists. They're terrorists. The FBI just caught a left-wing group that was going to carry out bombing attacks in Los Angeles. They're terrorists. Karen Bass belonged to a militant organization that blew shit up in her past before becoming mayor of LA. They're terrorists. They bring in the third world refugees who happen to be terrorists, who shoot college Republicans, one of few at Brown University. Speaking of which, let me see if I think I bookmarked that. Let me open that up in a new tab and see if we got that still, because I want to give him credit for this one if I bookmarked it. If not, you're going to watch me search it down, because there it is right there. Boom. 0 hour. This is who he thinks the shooter is. This is the shooter up close, and I posted this. You can see him right here. He's got short, stubby fucking Danny DeVito legs. His body is like Danny DeVito, right? Right? I got it from further down, I said. Now, this is the video of the dude. Short, stubby Danny DeVito legs. Same dude in the video to the left is the same dude I just showed you in pictures. I can guarantee that that's the same dude. Now, what's interesting is this. Sorry to go off track of this, because I'm just saying the daily psyops on things to squirrel you away from what you should be paying attention to, they keep happening. And oh, let me hold on. Somebody was asking me if I'm live. Hold on, guys. Sorry. I just small channel, trying to keep people going. All right, there you go. Sorry. So what was I saying? Oh, they want to squirrel you away from things like this. They don't, now that, I mean, he's a pretty well followed account, okay? This is Brian Krasenstein. Please DM me if you need some advice in dealing with this situation. For those of you showing your bigotry and hatred of Muslims by spreading lies and conspiracy theories, implying that this guy is in any way connected to the Brown University tragedy, stop. You're dangerous. Mustafa, blah, 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 is not a suspect. Just stop already. So that tells me right there that they're onto something. This is who they're saying it was. Law enforcement has named 24-year-old Benjamin Erickson as the individual detained. Then they let him go. This guy's not chubby. This guy has long legs. You can tell that his legs are of normal length. Do you see the distractions that they pull? Do you see the distractions that they pull? You want to tell me that this guy is the guy I just showed you in that other video? So to make matters more interesting, Mustafa Karbau's now deleted 2024 manifesto, published in the Institute for Palestine Studies, has been recovered by internet sleuths. And you need to read this. This was 1 hour ago from Raw's Alerts. I think that, hey, Cheryl. Hey, Cheryl, can you send Rob the link? I can't do it. I'm not linked. I'm not linked on my phone to the computer right now. Anyway, so this guy, Safety Swipe got blocked. This is one of he's a good dude. Am I following him on this account? No. Okay, he's one of the guys that helps 0 Hour, and Brown University blocked him. Now again, what did they do? Boy, he's posted a lot. Again, that is not this fat dude here with the short legs is not the guy that they were interviewing as a possible suspect. I'm sorry to have to scroll like this, but I don't have a way to. That's not this guy. It's more than likely this guy. And Brian Krasenstein knows it. I think a lot of people know it because if I could find the post, Brown University removed all links to this fat dude, this fat pro-Palestine, they them pronouns guy here. They are all locking down. I don't know why he bothered to tag Laura Loomer. She's just a story thief, but whatever. See, she's already stolen his story already. Do you see what I'm saying? They, them. Do you know who discovered this? People in his fucking comments. She didn't discover this, but there she is running with it. There she is running with. I cannot stand that bitch. And the fact that, I mean, no offense to him. I get it. You're trying to get the truth out there or whatever. And you know she's going to steal your story. But at the same time, it just pisses me off. He right here is releasing new image of the person of interest in the mass shooting. This was 4 hours ago. This is the new interest person. FBI Boston is releasing. He won't last much longer. This one will do it. If not, someone is covering for a murderer. Someone knows this guy for sure. But if this is actually the guy, then I'm gonna go with okay. I haven't seen this updated information, guys, but they did. They removed. If I could find the damn post. This is the guy that looks like the original guy in the video that they originally released. This does not look much like that guy, if I'm being honest. But either way, he's wearing a face mask in 2025. Like, not even like a, you know what I'm saying? Not even like, hey, Rob. Thanks, Cheryl. I appreciate it. I wasn't connected via computer, Rob, so I couldn't send the link to you. I couldn't send the link to you easily. It would have been a whole process. Anyway, so I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens, but they did remove his post. It's way down further. I don't know where it's at. There it is. Page not found. This was the page where people were finding images of him. Center for Middle East Studies from Brown University. He was part of that. Guys, he says they removed his page. This is his what is it? X or whatever. He's a student there. I mean, we'll see what happens with all this. It's just a pretty interesting story that we're dancing around. You know what I mean? One of the only conservatives in this entire college, one of the leading conservatives that led a conservative group or whatever. People are close to the story are claiming that she was the target. Okay, that other people got killed. We got Jack Prosebiak or whatever. He says, "Can someone inform this migrant police chief that his press conference is being conducting in the United States of America where we speak English. Um, I don't know what he's referring to. I guess I scrolled past that video, but that's not it. Yeah, that's another weird thing. Supposedly there's like 800 cameras on this entire thing, and like the attack happened where there's no cameras, which is convenient. So what they're doing currently is they're relying. And by the way, Trish Regan, who I think I've played some of her videos on my show, but I don't necessarily trust her. She tried to imply that the FBI that Cash Patel is going to be fired because the FBI mishandled this. The FBI has offered an reward. The FBI hasn't had much to do with this case so far yet, as far as I know, other than offering a reward, reviewing the evidence. So I don't know why people keep doing things like this other than they want clicks. I mean, I don't necessarily care about clicks. I mean, I get that's what makes you the revenue, but I don't want clicks that aren't earned. Like I would rather tell the truth and just hope for the best. It doesn't seem to pay off in the news. I'm going to be honest. That's why I've always had a small crowd. But at the end of the day, like I'm just so tired of it. And this is exactly what I just, she posted this and all these people right here. Rob Reiner was beloved by millions across multiple generations, something you will never experience or understand. Just to show you, yeah, that's going to be a no from me, dog. Lies. You see what I'm saying? Even the left and the right, they're teamed up to spread this same narrative about Trump's post yesterday. Yeah, bullshit, no cameras. I don't believe it. And you'll notice that despite there being some things, other people that identify with that, and you're muted. See? It's been said over and over, but I'll say it again. He is sad, pathetic little man. But then you look at this. This guy misspelled Limbaugh. He didn't know how to spell it, I guess. Rush Limbaugh was a beloved commentator. Rob Reiner said he was a cancer on our country the day after he died of cancer. And then we've got, okay, nobody cares. He said what he thinks. He didn't dance on the man's grave and said his death was horrible. Rob Reiner hated me and anyone that believes like me. His death was horrific, and I cannot imagine dying at the hands of my own kid. And we got, I wonder what Reiner did to his son to warrant his actions. Good question. Rob Reiner himself said people don't know him anymore, and he did. Yeah, Rob Reiner, was gone the moment that he went TDS. His legacy is going to be the guy who complains about Trump not for his motives, which is really sad. People didn't. This is what I was saying at the beginning of the show. People didn't even talk about him until he died, and Orange Mad said some not so nice things about him. Hell, people probably forgot about him till now. Oh no, the guy I hate is speaking ill of someone I never talk about. I have to go into action. Do you see the hypocrisy here? Do you see what I'm saying? Like that is the majority of these comments, just like on this dumb bitch's post here, who was crying that, everybody didn't just join her side and her little influencer bubble and assumed that because, she saw other, I don't know that she is a conservative Inc. paid shill influencer per se, but I think what happens is some of these, I mean, she's got a decent following, last I knew, 109.5. So she could be taking money from Conservative Inc. behind the scenes, but you just never know. But what'll happen is these influencers too, this is another thing you have to consider. They live in their little influencer bubble on X. They think that X is real life, right? People outside of X, my daughter, my wife, my kids, they don't give two shits about Rob Reiner. They don't like Rob Reiner from the little bit they know about him, right? They don't care that Trump said what he said because he didn't say anything awful. He literally called him out for being a fucking TDS weirdo who for 10 years spewed bullshit about Trump, literally. Okay? So, and then he said, may Rob and Michelle rest in peace. At the beginning, he said, very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Why would he bother? Dude, if that was me, knowing what Rob Reiner did to him and the roles were reversed, that'd have been, yeah, Rob Reiner got fucking murdered. Oh, well. But that's why I'm not president. I think he handled it better than most people would have. And so that's why I say, then you go to her comments here and, back to the bubble thing. They live in a bubble. So when they see these big, huge influencers who do get paid behind the scenes from like Big Soda, remember I showed you all that? And they get paid for for the fucking India lobby and all this and that, and they take the money and they do their little narratives, and then they get caught and they're like, "Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have done that," and everybody forgives them. Like, bro, you can't wake up to a timeline of everybody attacking Susie Wiles over a fake fucking article from Vanity Fair of all places. And what you'll see here is that these people get caught up in the bubble and they run with the narrative of the day thinking that it's going to get them likes, but they're starting to all find out that that's not what happens. Nah, we're just not weak bitches like you. This is what I put, who fully grasp that if they heard any of us died, they would celebrate. No quarter for the terrorists. You are one of them now. That's what I said. I've been saying for months that conservatives are turning into the woke left. That's one person that's on her side. People hate the term woke right, but every time something like this happens, oh no, he's not on their side. They act more and more like the woke left. Boom, exactly. Unfortunately, this is all too common. If we call it out, we are weak and liberal. LOL. This is somebody that is on her side. No, I just won't blindly follow everything you say. Well, you're literally blindly following everything that the majority of the influencers on X are saying. Yeah. No, it's not Molly Mouse. It's Mally Mouse, Cheryl. Isn't that funny? Exactly what I thought too. Um, True, but he has his reasons, this person put, and then puts these Rob Reiner quotes. When the left openly says they want us dead, they aren't lying, and we shouldn't care about their feelings. Don't tell me Reiner was a decent to Trump. Do tell me if Reiner was decent to Trump. Performative piety does not impress and provides the left with a key to exploiting your voice. Boom. Boom. I'm just going to leave this here for reference. This person says, it's amazing how much leftist discourse is just them pretending not to understand things, thus making discourse impossible. That's funny. Reiner spent every day spewing hate towards Trump. Trump deserves the right. Dude, I don't have to go through all these. Exactly. Cheryl knows. Cheryl knows why. Yeah, you were there for all that crap. Anyway, long story short, you can see that the tides are turning a little bit on X. I wish I could say that it was thanks to people like me. But like I said, I don't have a very big reach. I have a very small reach. I always have. It's always been a very small reach. But the fact that people are waking up to these influencer ops, I mean, like I said, you can literally, I'll do it again. Susie Wiles, look, there'll be new ones, latest. There'll be new ones other than what I see. This person is literally sharing the meme I showed you yesterday. That somebody photoshopped either the body on or the head of JD Vance on, one of the two. It's not real. It's been debunked. So, yeah, I mean, do you see what I'm saying? Here it is. Susie Wiles, Trump chief of staff, criticizes Bondi and Vance in candid interviews the New York Times. And the New York Times is quoting the Vanity Fair article. And the Vanity Fair article cited nobody but Susie. And when Susie comes on and goes, yeah, they're totally taking my words out of context and everything. They're like, this isn't exactly what I said. This is not what I said. So then the New York Times writes an article and says, oh, there's recordings of this, and Vanity Fair writer let me hear them. Oh, we're just going to take your word for it, New York Times? How about we release the articles and get to the bottom of it? How about we release the audio and get to the bottom of it? That's what we need to do. We need to release it. Susie Wiles confessed Playboy Trump flew on Epstein plane. That didn't happen. What's this article from? Daily Beast. Let's see. Donald Trump's chief of staff has confirmed the president is in the Jeffrey Epstein files and traveled to sex offenders plane when they were young. Okay, so yeah, we know he's in the Epstein files, not for anything bad, and we also know he flew on his plane the last time being in 1997 before he bought the island in 1998. Do you see the shit? And then what happens is they go ahead and they start. You got these MAGA influencers. Now, why in the world would Susie Wiles take this interview with well-known leftist rag Vanity Fair? Well, I will tell you why. Here's why. Because they're the most transparent administration in history. They are the most transparent administration in history. You couldn't even get Biden's corpse out in front of cameras for more than a few minutes half the time, right? This guy holds a press gaggle almost every goddamn day. The one time he didn't for a few days, they were speculating that he was dead. So I can't with these people. Why would you do the interview? Because if she turned down the interview, then they would say, oh, look, they claim they're being transparent, but Susie Wiles turned down this interview with this special reporter from Vanity Fair that's well known for interviewing White House chiefs of staffs, and she refused to do it. What does Susie Wiles know? What's she scared of? Or do the interview, hope that they don't spew bullshit about what you say and skew your words, and hope for the best, knowing that it's probably going to be recorded. Let's release the recordings. Not too secretly behind the scenes. The recording is, let's see, what's this? This is from 2 minutes ago. Did they finally do it? Let's find out. The recording is from Susie Wiles. This person asks, Grok, has anyone heard the recording of Susie Wiles' New York Times interview? The recording is from Susie Wiles' interviews with Vanity Fair, not New York Times. It was shared privately by the writer with the New York Times to verify quotes, but hasn't been released publicly based on reports from New York Times, NBC, and others. Only they have heard it so far. No public audio available. Well, release it to the public, right? Isn't that what we heard about the Epstein files like 10 minutes after Trump took off? So release it all to the public. No, we don't need anything redacted. And then when they were like, oh, there's a bunch of tapes with child porn, we need to see everything. Oh, it's not being so release the fucking tapes, assholes. Here's Scott Jennings on it.
Backed her on everything, and so
let me get it rewound back up.
And then wanted to know more. And of course, what the White House is saying is that it's been significantly taken out of context. All I can tell you about Susie is this: revered, respected, has the total confidence and trust of the president. He's come out this afternoon and backed her on everything. And so, look, I mean, ultimately, there's only one person's opinion that matters. President of the United States. He loved Susie yesterday. He loves her today. And the world keeps spinning. So I think, look, for most people, this would be a little bit of palace intrigue, but I don't detect any wobbling in the leadership of.
And then you see this bullshit. Susie Wiles has the good on everyone, especially Trump. That's why everyone is seeing the "Let's Kiss Susie Wiles" ass post. Fucking retards, guys. You guys, conservative for life. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying with these psyops, man? Absolute dumb. Look at this. Watch this one. And I called her out too. Where is she? I think I fucking bookmarked it. Did I not? Right here. Right here. I don't know who the hell this bitch is. Okay. 63.1K followers. So probably taking money behind the scenes. For the record, I warned everybody about Susie Wiles in the spring of 2024 when she came on as Trump's campaign manager. I told you she was the new boss and he would be a lame duck before he even won. She put it in quotes here, like he didn't win the election. She's not dumb, guys. She'd never do an interview with Vanity Fair without knowing exactly what was going to emerge. This is fascinating. Is she really on the ropes, or are we witnessing a coup? Who is this person? Let's find out. Believer, wife, mom, host of the Shannon Joy Show, Daily Show, 12 p.m. on ET, or 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's EST. On Rumble. Podcast at the Shannon Joy. So is she a liberal or what? 23 years strong? Yeah. He's probably. Yeah. Sharing fucking. Yep, exactly. I don't know what her policies. I don't know what her. She seems to be kind of lefty, if I'm being off. Yeah, she's a lefty. But there you have it. This is what you're seeing on X right now. And that's not just from people like her. So I said, except he's not a lame duck now. Everything he's done is working. Shill, I meant to say shill, but I was doing voice to text. Influencers just refuse to talk about that because they'd rather get clicks by being dramatic and spreading black pills. But do go on about you're such a genius for claiming that shit didn't happen. And what I'm saying is that we're looking at everything that Biden did being reversed, fixed, and maintained. The economy's getting better. They let out job reports today, by the way. It was some 60,000 plus jobs, which was higher than expected, created for Americans, but unemployment was high as well. Now, unemployment was high because we got rid of, there was a delay for one, so we're looking at older numbers, but unemployment was high because we got rid of a bunch of government workers that Biden hired to artificially prop up his economy, if you recall. Okay? Thousands, hundreds of thousands of them. And then you've got illegals being taken out of the jobs that they once held. So that's unemployment for the government workers, and you're seeing less job growth because illegals are being removed from the job market, let's say. So when there is growth, it's actual Americans that are growing the job numbers. I mean, just look at Chuck Todd.
Well, I wasn't a fan of his at all. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned.
It was so disgusting. It was so awful. We're all exhausted from being exhausted by him. The fact.
So Trump's not allowed to say he wasn't a fan of his because he's dead. He's not allowed to say he was a deranged person, even though he was. You see what I'm saying? And this sounds just like that chick I just showed you, who claims she's not a liberal, right? So, and Trump's texting me to raise money. It's not really Trump, it's the GOP. And this is why I say, guys, this is another example of what I'm talking about. This is Rob Schneider. He claims to be MAGA, right? James Wood did this same bullshit. This is why I've always maintained, I don't give a shit what a celebrity has to say. I don't care if they claim to be MAGA or not. Do I think some of their stand-up is funny? Yeah, I do. Do I care about their political opinions? Well, with like Jim Brewer, I can't help but listen to his political opinions. Most of his stand-up nowadays is his political opinions, right? But this is what I'm saying. No matter what, Hollywood sticks together. They are a club just like Congress, okay? They are pretty much intertwined at this point with our government. We have CIA offices in Hollywood in which Hollywood can go to and be like, hey, if I was going to write this story, what would be realistic? You know, and stuff like that. We've got FBI offices there specifically for that purpose. I don't know if we still do now, but at the end of the day, you can expect this kind of shit from Hollywood people, no matter whether they claim to be Trump supporters or not.
We are allowed to have these conversations. We are allowed to disagree with the president and even say outrageous things that he said. You know, I don't want to repeat them, but I think like the president yesterday, I think he must rise above it, and he seems incapable of rising above the situation.
Yeah. Let's, somebody, if you got a second, look up clips of Rob Reiner saying this about Rob Schneider saying this about Rob Reiner, saying that Trump's a Nazi, that all of his supporters are scum, and they're ruining platforms that he was on, that he went to escape X. Somebody find me him doing this about Rob Reiner. I'll wait.
And being the president of all of us and just saying what it was. Maybe he wasn't a fan of mine, but I was a fan of his. He made great films. He was a great artist, and leave it at that.
How about that's your opinion and you're entitled to it, but nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. Do you see what I'm saying? They all stick together. Fuck these people. I'm serious. Like, fuck all of them. If someone spends years calling you a uniquely terrible person and then it's murdered, consider responding in a way that doesn't sort of confirm his accusations. Look how similarly this next post is worded. When someone with whom you disagree politically is violently murdered, if you don't have anything nice to say, for the love of all things holy, don't say anything at all. Are these not an identical post with slightly different wording? Let's look at his follows. 25.K, close enough to 30K. I'm sure and obviously she's a senator. So they got their talking points yesterday. And you can see these were just two examples. There were exactly, look at, they're almost even the same length by a few words. You see what I'm saying? This was how it looked on their side. They also have these people behind the scenes as well. This guy acts like this is a bad thing. Nearly every member of the Trump admin has now issued a defense of Susie Wiles after scathing remarks to Vanity Fair and what appears to be a coordinated PR messaging campaign. Yeah, coordinated PR messaging campaign, defending somebody that you're all saying she said something she says she didn't say, right? And then you've got this. This is just more. This is why I say, guys, if you go on X for news, go on for news. Don't go on for people's opinions. I swear to God. I swear to God, don't do it. You will start out with having a nice day, and then you'll be ready to just leave America because there's no hope, blah, blah, blah. I want to show you this idiot here, Marjorie Taylor Greene, trying to attack Chip Roy. Now, keep in mind, she's ejecting herself from Congress now that it looks like the No Congress Can't Trade Stocks Act is about to pass. And now that she's enriched herself in Congress. Anyway, Chip Roy has introduced an amendment to gut the Commerce Clause of my bill, Protect Children's Innocence Act, and replace it with his. His amendment only cuts federal funding from facilities that receive federal funding for pediatric gender-affirming care. Transgender surgeries, puberty blockers, and hormones is what she cites that they offer. My Commerce Clause criminalizes all pediatric gender-affirming care, transgender surgeries, puberty blockers, and hormone, not just those receiving federal funds, and protects all children, allowing them to grow up before they make permanent changes to their body that they can never undo. In other words, Chip Roy is trying to change my bill in such a way that his amendment would actually protect Gavin Newsom's California trans child sanctuary state policies and laws. And privately funded pediatric gender clinic would continue to operate free and clear under Chip Roy's amendment. My bill criminalizes all pediatric gender clinics, hospitals, doctors, nurses, therapists, and anyone who engages in the radical transing of minor under 18 years old, and is a fulfillment of President Trump's executive order in 2024 Republican campaign promises. What the fuck is Chip Roy doing? And this guy wants to be Attorney General of Texas but refuses to protect children? Okay, guys, does that sound good on paper to you? Let me know in comments. Does what she just said sound good to you on paper? Now let's discuss why Chip Roy put in what he put in, shall we? This woman who hides behind her Constitution that she claims she loves so much is not grasping the fact that at the SCOTUS level, whether this upholds Trump's whatever or not in her mind, this here that she wanted to do, once it reaches SCOTUS, is going to die. Why? What happened with Roe v. Wade, guys? Is it gone? Is abortion gone? Is it banned everywhere? Like she was trying to do? No. It allows abortion in the states that choose to have abortion. That's the more constitutional thing to do. Just like states have medical marijuana laws where they choose to not enforce federal law. Trump talk that Trump might be, downgrading the, classification for weed. We'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, what happened? States can still have abortions if that's what they want to do, right? That's the way it's supposed to work. States are supposed to have rights. Now, granted, federal law supersedes. Now, is there a chance that this would hold up at SCOTUS? There's a small chance, yes. But I really do believe this idiot doesn't grasp that Chip Roy is offering an amendment that will allow for this bill to pass without any court battles. That we'll pay for. By the way, you and me pay for this when Congress has to go to court, all the way up to just like we have to pay for the DOJ to go to court every time that the Democrats take them to court over stupid shit. We have to pay for that. So the Democrats will take this to court. They will probably win at SCOTUS level because the SCOTUS will look at it like, yeah, we don't agree with kids getting them, but states are allowed to do it. We don't agree with people getting abortions. The conservative justice aren't fan of abortions, but what did they do? They made it so that states have their own rights. And that's why I think Chip Roy, who's more of a constitutionalist than this bitch will ever be, put that in there. Now, what's going to happen with his is if it cuts federal funding from facilities that receive federal funding for pediatric gender-affirming care, there's going to be a lot of broke-ass places that are doing this right now that will not be around anymore. Because keep in mind, the vast majority of the people that are getting these surgeries are doing it on the government dole with government health care. So you're paying for that, even if you don't agree with it, right? That's why we got rid of paying for abortions as well. And I told her that underneath in comments somewhere. I don't know. I'm not verified on there. So right here, I'm glad you're leaving office. You hide behind the Constitution, but you can't even grasp some things with it. Roe v. Wade was reversed, but not blocked. States have the right to do these things. Cutting Fed funds is the only way it passes without getting killed in court. Dumbass. I put Dunbass, but whatever. Long story short, again, the fact that she's even taking the X to try to bash Chip Roy, who, don't get me wrong, I don't necessarily trust that dude on a lot of things, right? I don't know what to make of him. Sometimes he seems like he's on our side, and then other times I'm like, I don't know. But at the end of the day, this would have been a court battle, what she wanted to do. And maybe she knew that. Maybe she thought getting this passed and having Trump sign it would make her look good, because she's done literally nothing in Congress since she stepped foot in it, other than make the rest of us look stupid by saying Jewish space lasers and all this other crazy shit. And then turning on Trump at the end, only to go onto The View and pose with Code Pink activists and smile. But at the end of the day, that's why I think he's doing it. This is what I'm talking about with X. Our own people in Congress, it's like we don't even have a Congress anymore. We just have influencers. They're always looking for the next viral bite. And then you got people that, see, it just goes on and on from yesterday. See, here's another one. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Conservatives are swarming my morning notifications, insulting me, calling me stupid, saying I look trans, accusing me of having TDS. If our voters would stop getting so offended at the tiniest bit of productive criticism, we might not struggle so much to win elections. This bitch has the nerve to say that we might not struggle so much to win elections when literally what she's trying to do is get people to hate MAGA and look, I fixed it, she says. Blocks all this out. This is what she did. See, she thinks she's really cute and funny. These are the people that help us struggle to win elections. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that she admits that the majority of us on the right are not with these dumbass fucking grifters on here who just go with whatever each one of them says, either because they're getting paid to behind the scenes or they just want to fit in this little bubble called X. It's just astounding. So they're upset that the masses in their comments don't agree with their little talking point. Oh, look at that person's dead spot on. Look, boom. See? People remember, guys. People remember things. The tides are slowly turning, and I'm so happy to see it. I'm so happy to finally see people being like, fuck the Epstein files. We're kind of over it. We know what Trump means. Even these so-called MAGA influencers. Do you remember when Trump said he didn't need them? And they melted for like 2 days. He said, we helped him get elected, and he says he doesn't need us. I did not take the advice of any of these shit stains on here when it came to my vote for Trump. I don't think any of you did either. That's how big their egos are. They really think that Trump needed them for anything. These people were on X talking about Trump. The majority of them were not out in the streets talking good about Trump or like getting people to sign this or agree to vote that or do any of these things. They were just on X and going on the news once in a while, doing podcasts and so on. And just like me, right? Like I wasn't out in the streets. I don't got time to do that shit. But when I talked to people about Trump, it was always positive, right? If Trump said he doesn't need these people, he doesn't. Because what did they do to him in his first term? The same shit they're doing now, if you recall. I keep saying it. Any little thing that they could nitpick Trump about that ended up being proven wrong, they'd do it. So anyway, guys, that's really the gist of the show. We've got a new Psyop for today. Tomorrow it'll be, I don't even know what. Tomorrow, who knows what it'll be. Karen, we got to hear from her before we go. She pretty much cleared it up there.
This is, unfortunately...
No, don't start playing before I get it on the screen. What's wrong with you? There we go.
This is, unfortunately, another example of disingenuous reporting, where you have a reporter who took the chief of staff's words wildly out of context, did not include the context those conversations were had within. And then further, I think the most egregious part of this article was the bias of omission that was clearly present. And we see a lot of this when dealing with the media every day. You will leave out important context, leave out comments and facts. You know, many people in this building spoke with that reporter, and those comments were never included in the story, probably because it didn't push this false narrative of chaos and confusion that the reporter was clearly trying to push. So what I'll say about our chief of staff, as you've seen from not just myself, but also the entire cabinet and a groundswell of support from people on Capitol Hill who don't even work in this building, about how incredible Susie Wiles has been to President Trump. And he's been able to accomplish so much because of his leadership and his tenacity, but also because of Chief of Staff Wiles's leadership and her ability to effectuate his agenda.
So there you have it. The proof, the recording, even Trump Jr., Donald Trump Jr. is defending her and explaining why. She defended herself. So this is just another, yet again, just another. Oh, and by the way, if you like Right Side Broadcasting right here, this is the guy that owns it, and look who he just got married to. So yeah, I don't think I'll be watching their feeds anymore. This is the perfect example. This is the perfect example. This bitch here, Emerald Robinson, she is one of the ones who has been like a pit bull on all the election fraud that happened in 2020, right? Like right there, right up in it. And now that the Trump administration is out there talking about what happened in 2020, saying we've got the receipts, we're going to be releasing truckloads of the receipts. We know what's going on in California elections. We know that there's fraud in some of these states. And by the way, I don't know if you heard, DC just came out that DC actually was proven to be fudging the numbers on crime in DC. That just came out. They got caught. Trump said it. They said he was lying, and they just got caught. So now that Trump's actually transitioning into going after election fraud and fixing that, because that's literally, aside from what Congress has to do to solidify everything of Trump's, which Mike Johnson claims that they're going to start doing in the House, I think the first of the year or soon or whatever. He just came out and said, yeah, we're going to start taking care of all this shit. So we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens with that. Now, he may be saying that because he knows the Senate's going to kill it all. I don't know. I don't trust Congress, guys. You shouldn't either. They did great with the BBB, but at the end of the day, that I think they felt like they were going to pass that, and Trump would just be like, oh, cool, we're done. He's not done, right? So we moved on to what she seems to care about, what she's railed on about for now going on 5 years. The minute she does it, she was one of the ones talking about the Trump post yesterday. She's one of the ones bashing Susan Wiles today based on a dumb interview that she claims was misquoted. Again, they've got the recordings. They should release them to the public, not behind the scenes to news agencies who can then just confirm what they say. We need to hear it too. I'm not going to just take these places' word for it. Some of these people, like her, are attacking her for even doing it, like I told you at the beginning of the show, which was a double-edged sword. She either did it and risked this, or didn't do it and was accused of not being transparent, right? That's what would have happened. But at the same time, Trump goes on CNN. Trump's done interviews with CNN, CBS, NBC, ABC, and they've done the same thing to him. So why are we not attacking Trump for that? Oh, that's right, because that's not the messaging for today. I don't know. I feel like Trump needs to hold these people accountable too, just like he does these fake news outlets. I'm sorry, but I think it's time. I wish there was a guy that was digging into Conservative Inc. back in the day on one of my accounts that got banned, and now I don't have that account, and I can't find the guy anymore. I don't even remember what his name was, but he had receipts on all of it, and it's pretty crazy. But anyway, guys, that's just food for thought. We'll see what tomorrow's new outrage, staged outrage is going to be. I have a feeling it'll be Cash Patel or Pam Bondi. It's just a vicious cycle back in the, or maybe Trump will post something tonight when I go to bed, and we'll see what that is. But all right, guys, thanks for joining me, everyone who did. This will just be right here on the channel. No edits. You'll see about probably 3 minutes of me thinking I was live at the beginning of this when I wasn't. And then I go live a second time because it didn't take to the YouTube side when I changed it in this app here. So I will talk to y'all later. Just guys, you gotta pay attention, close attention, and you gotta focus because we are winning. Look up everything that's good about what Trump's doing. Pay attention to that. Use AI. Ask it what accomplishments he's made. I mean, he's ending wars so that we don't have to be in them. We're taking over our hemisphere for once, and rhinos are trying to stop it with Democrats, trying to stop him from cleaning up our own backyard. None of these people tried to stop Biden from spending all that money in Ukraine. They just didn't vote for stuff and complained about it, but they didn't try to stop him. These people are literally trying to stop. They didn't try to stop Obama from bombing Americans overseas. Granted, MTG wasn't in office then, but Thomas Massey was. So was Rand Paul. They didn't come out with a bill to stop him from drone bombing everybody overseas. So just know it's going to get crazier. We are going to go from one outrage a week to about 3 to 5. It'll probably fill up your entire week and maybe even the weekend now. Every day. This is what happened last time he was president too. And you won't be able to tell the difference between both sides when you get on places like X or on the regular MSM. It's just not, you're not going to be able to. I will talk to y'all later. Y'all have a great